Hi, I'm Quinn. I'm one of the co-founders of Autumn, and this is just a super quick overview about how Autumn works and how it makes your life easier as a team lead. So, Autumn does one thing. We help you better understand how your team is feeling and know what to do about it based in best practices and research from organizational psychologists. The best part is we can give you all of this information and we can do it without asking you to do a survey or asking any of your team members to do a survey. So I'll explain how that works in a second, but this is what my team dashboard looks like. So at a glance, I can see the recommendations that I've made active. These are based on how my team is feeling right now, and I get new suggestions every Monday. So you can see, right now the tool is suggesting based on our team's data that, connection, particularly for a remote team, is something we want to focus on improving. And so I get recommendations with resources that I can check out relevant to that. Now, the other data that you see here kind of covers a couple broad strokes. So performance readiness, how the team is doing overall, well-being. So, what's morale look like for the team, and burnout. Now, the trick is all of this data comes either from surveys or check-ins that people have done at a cadence of their choosing, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. But the real kind of secret sauce for Autumn is users actually have the option of connecting things like their calendar, their email, their Slack, and the tool will use that data, scraping it and de-identifying it, anonymizing it, and then deriving insights from that information to help give you these aggregate scores without the need for surveys. So sounds a little bit like science fiction, but here's how it works. Performance readiness, for example, uses a number of different kind of measures from psychology, like psychological safety, interpersonal trust at a team level. Google did this huge study showing it is the most significant predictor of performance there is. And we can start to derive some of these scores directly from, say, calendar. So it turns out that, for our team, the amount of focus time that people have is hugely predictive of their scores for psychological safety, of control, a lot of the kind of things that comprise being able to perform at a high level. And these are patterns that the tool is deriving because our team connected Slack. An example for well-being, it turns out for our team, response time is a really meaningful signal. So when people are either sending a lot of messages outside work or when they're taking longer and longer to respond to those messages, those are meaningful signals to the tool. And the best part is I can kind of see where we're at benchmarked across, various team data, industry data, and get a sense of what I want to focus on. Again, the goal is to kind of give you all the information you need, but then follow it up with really actionable next steps. So that's Autumn on the data side. So you know how your team is doing, whether you're remote or not. There's no more guessing. There's no more surprise resignation letters because someone didn't bring something up or a conversation didn't happen. Now you get data that helps you understand when the issues start showing up, not 6 months later when they're so big that someone's made a decision to leave. So that's one side of it. But we wanted to go even further with actionability. And so the way that we approached that was we thought about all the points in time where you interact with your team members, your direct reports, and we felt like the one-on-one experience was a really good opportunity to take all this information and just help have more meaningful conversations. So what does that look like? I've set up one-on-ones for 3 members of my team. It takes me about 15 seconds. I just pick a team, select a team member, and then when we have our one-on-ones, I can send myself an example just so you can see what happens before each one-on-one. So Autumn takes all the data from my team and it says, here are the most important conversations you should consider having in your one-on-ones this week. And so the agenda that it generates from that data changes and updates every single week. So here's just what it looks like. So if I go to this chatbot, its name is Ipsy, you can see here a one-on-one I had with my co-founder, and the tool auto-generated this. I did no work for this to happen. And it's highlighted a couple of the scores that are a little bit lower for my team. It's showed me a trend graph. So instead of the, how are you doing? Anything you want to talk about this week? We can have a meaningful conversation about, hey, it looks like, on this day, things were very clear. You had a strong sense of control. What contributed to that? So why were things going well? Not just why are things going less well or not as well as we'd like. And so the idea is just to give me a starting place, but importantly, my direct report also gets this. So we're both coming into the conversation with the same set of expectations, except the direct report also gets prompts or questions personalized to their own data. And that's the thing that really sets Autumn apart, is as much as it is a tool for you to manage your team, we are also a tool that really focuses on supporting each and every member of your team with their own insights and their own data. So you can see here, this is my personal data. Every user on your team will get their own dashboard. And the idea is when they know how they're doing and they know what they need, they are so much more likely to be able to, one, initiate a conversation with you about that, but two, take action proactively. So it's not, about finding out that there's a problem way down the road. It's about addressing them really early so that performance and well-being aren't affected. So that's why users opt in. That's why, people don't hate it maybe as much as they might a survey tool that HR gets you to use. So that's the tool. Excited to hear what you think. Cheers.